A few months ago now, I broke up with my old channel manager. And I used the term broke up because it literally was like ending a real relationship. One that I knew wasn't right for a long time, but I was just too scared to actually pull the plug.
Change can be scary.
And like, this wasn't even just like a casual relationship I was leaving. This was like a marriage with 3 kids, 5 dogs, a fucking mortgage, and a shared gym membership. It was scary as hell, but I can tell you now that I'm on the other side, that it was one of the best decisions I ever made for my business. So what was it that made me leave? Well, first let me tell you how I even got there. So the first channel manager I ever used way back in the day was basically free. It just took a little portion of each booking. I think it was 50p per booking. But the problem with that one was it was so cheap, so basic, it didn't even connect to Airbnb. It's mad even thinking about that. I think it does now, but I was long gone by the time that I figured that out. I then went to this other one that everyone was raving about, but the problems I had with it did not help either. It was constantly going down. You couldn't log in. Like, your business was basically like locked off because it wasn't working. We had multiple properties there and you couldn't see them all on one diary, and it was really frustrating for me. So we moved to my ex and we moved there because we could get a big multi-calendar thing, so we could see all of the properties in one screen. It connected to Airbnb, it connected to everywhere else. It was decent, it was fine, it was relatively cheap, although sort of you could argue about that. And it was okay at the start, but as we grew, the little frustrations, the little icks became more and more apparent, and it just became harder and harder to stay. So one of the big things was when we were onboarding new properties, it was so slow. Like, it could take weeks, and like, we have clients and we're telling them, yeah, give us the keys, we'll take it from there. And it's taking them weeks to get it onboarded. The clients are asking, why am I not getting any bookings? And we're like, it's actually not even live yet. We did all our bit, but it had to get batted back to the channel manager to do theirs. It was so slow. It did not need to be that slow. On top of that, the customer service was poor to non-existent. There was no chat. There was a chat, but you didn't really get any answers from it. You had no like person that you could go and speak to. Like, we're a big enough company. Like, we had no one that we could go and speak to, no one that could get things over the line. It was just really frustrating. And when things were going wrong in terms of like payments and stuff, there was no one to speak to. And we were paying per room, so it did all add up. 75 properties. We have some that are 1 beds, we have some that are 5 beds, we have some guest houses with 7 rooms in it. It was a substantial amount that we were paying every month. And then there was just stuff that it just didn't even do. We're a management company. We do reporting for our clients every month that we need to allocate all the money that's theirs and then take our portion and then pay out to them. This thing had no features on functionality whatsoever to help us work that out. We had to pay accountants, and that's like thousands every month to do bookkeeping and accountancy to keep all our numbers correct. Even the analytics and the reporting was just basic. It just looked crap. It didn't give us everything we needed. Even some of the numbers it used, like, it would recognize if we took a security deposit but then refunded it, it would still recognize that as some of our revenue, which I just didn't like. It skewed figures and stuff, so not great in that regard either. Even on our own website, to take bookings, to take direct bookings, we didn't get the functionality to have a search bar that whenever you land on our website, there was a date of arrival, date of departure, how many guests, search. We didn't have that. All we could get was a crappy little book now button that when someone clicked book now, that left our site and went to the booking engine of the channel manager. So all the lovely SEO and stuff that we got was just being lost because all the data, all the behavior in Google Analytics was being taken to a search engine. So it just really harmed our website. And then lastly, all of our owners, all of our clients, the login for their properties, what they could see, their portal, so to speak, didn't exist. They could get an iCal link, so it would show bookings. It would just show available and busy. Yeah, free and busy. So they would see where the bookings are, but nothing really else. Now, a lot of these problems are because we're at a higher level, but I'm guessing if you use a channel manager, you're gonna know how I feel. And actually, I did a quick poll on the YouTube channel, and like, most of you are mildly frustrated of those of you who have a channel manager. Loads of you don't. So if you're watching this video, I hope I haven't put you off, because I'm gonna give you the answer about where I move to next. But I know the frustrations when people have a channel manager, and it just doesn't do everything that you're hoping it's going to do. I've spoken to so many people who use so many different channel managers. Often they use cheap channel managers because they're trying to keep costs down, and they think, oh, these channel managers are the same. The only thing that's different is the price. But I've spoken to people who their channel manager, the sync, when a booking comes in, the sync to send out these dates are now closed, is super slow. So they're actually getting double bookings.
You had one job.
I mean, the number one role of a channel manager, number one, the only thing it should be able to do is stop double bookings. And if it can't do that, what the fuck are you paying for? It's completely unforgivable. I've heard of other people whose channel managers, like the one I used to use, goes down frequently, just offline. You're trying to log in, it's just spinning. You can't get in to manage your own business. And then those hosts on that one and other ones can't actually get through to real people to like figure out when is this coming back online? Like, what am I supposed to do here to run my business? I have a booking arriving today, can't log in to see any of the details. And then there's others that just have complete basic functionality, like no automations, no ability to integrate other systems and tech to just improve your business. They just don't do any of that.
And that sucks.
And whatever they are, I understand, because I had those same underlying low-level frustrations of just like, this is annoying. This is not doing what I wanted to do. But I thought I was stuck. Maybe you do too. I had 75 properties, hundreds of bookings, past and present, or future and past and present. Like, the thought of switching was just terrifying. And it was far worse than the low-level daily pain that I was experiencing. It was literally better the devil you know. But then came the tipping point when things had to change. And it probably wasn't like, if we go back to a relationship, it probably wasn't like a big thing, like they cheated on me or anything. The straws that broke the camel's back. It was just the relationship went from being 50-50, 50% good, 50% bad, to just tipped over, it's 51% bad. And I just realized, look, this isn't getting any better. It's causing me stress. We do not need it. It was causing the team stress as well. So my team were the front facing side of the business. They were having the uncomfortable calls and discussions with new clients and current clients who couldn't get into things and see things. Payments were failing. They became on board with the idea of starting to look for something else. And that's when the white knight, the sponsors of today's video, came in, Guesty.
I'm your knight in shining armor.
And by the way, they've kindly given me some awesome discounts to give to you guys, which I'm going to talk about later, but if you want a sneaky peek, you can look at the comment and the link below. So I had some conversations with Guesty, and I finally learned, we're always learning, I finally learned the difference between a channel manager and a PMS. Now, I'm sure you've heard both those terms. I used them sort of interchangeably, but there is a big difference, and that's what I learned from speaking to Guesty. A channel manager, all it does is push your stuff out. So it pushes your availability out, pushes out that you've got a booking in, pushes out your photos, it pushes out your descriptions. That's all it does, is an outward facing basic thing. A PMS is the opposite. It has a channel manager, but it also allows you functionality to properly manage your property. It's systems for managing your properties. It's all the sexy back-end stuff that I knew I needed and was frustrated that I didn't have. What I was using was a basic channel manager that was basically trying to act up as a PMS. So it said it did some things, but it didn't really do them properly. It was like an afterthought. It was like, we need to tick this box because we are trying to compete with all these PMSs. And if we say we can do this and we're, showcasing that we're on the same page and a competitor, we may pick up more hosts and more clients. But I had a demo with Guesty, and basically I unloaded all of the frustrations that I was currently feeling with my old channel manager, all the annoyances, everything that I was just so frustrated with. And literally every single point I had written down, they were like, no, it's not a problem here. We have a solution for this, or of course we can do that. I suppose this is where the relationship thing goes down, because if I was in a married relationship and I then just jumped to a partner who told me they didn't do any of the bad habits that my current partner had and annoyed me, it would seem a bit weird. But anyway, I'm going with it. And the real kicker was I got buy-in from the team, because I was honestly nervous about, we knew this thing, we've been using it for years. If I come in as the business owner and be like, right, we're pulling the plug, we're going over here, everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. But I got them on the demo with me. They could see the potential, they could see the functionality, how user-friendly it was. They could see the possibilities of what it could do for us. It could save them time as well. But the biggest thing that I was worried about was the switch itself, and we all were. We had hundreds of bookings in place that needed to be moved, and while on the demo I could see all the cool stuff that Guesty was going to do and could do, and they showed me how it all worked, they assured me that the switch would be fine. But that is a leap of faith, because I cannot see on a demo that is actually going to work. I had to take their word for it. But I'm a trusting guy. They were very trustworthy, and honestly it went perfectly. The onboarding service that we received was like second to none. Literally, I feel like I spoke to everyone in Guesty, and I feel like I spoke to someone on a daily basis almost about it. They could see the fear in mine and my team's eyes, and they were like, chill. People switch to us all the time. People switch to us with bigger portfolios. Like, it's fine. We got this. We know what we're doing. And honestly, it was like nothing dropped off. Nothing got lost. The way the stuff gets imported in, like from Airbnb, there's like a live link. So like all bookings just appear. Like it was awesome. And I think The fear I had was because I'd done those switches previously in those other 3 channel managers that I'd had, and because they were also cheap and nasty and shit, all of them were absolute disasters. Now, we're still just a few months in using the Guesty platform, but honestly, everything is awesome. There's so much functionality that I'm actually still getting used to. It's actually like when you upgrade your car, I feel like I'm driving around the Lamborghini here and I'm like, oh, what's that button do? Oh, wow, that's the turbo. They're like, oh, what's this? The ejector seat. It's like, there's so much stuff there that you're still just, as you're using it, unpicking and being like, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. I'll come back to that. So some of the best things. First off, the automations are awesome. So it's saving tons and tons and tons of time for the team in terms of messaging, in terms of like chasing up for IDs and things like that. And you can set triggers on everything so that your stuff goes out when you need it to. You can even leave automated Airbnb reviews. Another thing my team personally loves is the check-in form that you can send to guests. So we asked for ID, and previously we just sent an email saying, give us your ID. Everyone just ignored it. We had to chase and chase and chase and phone, we need your ID, we need your ID. Guesty sends out this sexy, beautiful check-in form that it clearly has the wee button where you can like upload the ID. It just seems far more professional. No one's querying us anymore about like, where the fuck do you need my passport? What about data protection here? They just send it and it's done. And it actually has stored on file in the Guesty platform. And it just looks so much better than it did before. The app is awesome too. I've never had an app that I can run my business from. Previously with those other channel managers, they were all terrible. This is one you can actually run your business with almost the same functionality as the main laptop thing anywhere. So when you're on the go, when you're on holiday, you can still run your business properly. Honestly, we haven't had to use the 24/7 support, which is kind of nice, but it's good to know that it's there if and when we need it. Something's gonna go wrong and we're gonna need them. But the best bit for us, for me personally as the business owner, is the owner reporting. Now, if you're not a management company, this may not apply to you or you may not care about this. We are a management company, and the biggest thing that was costing me the most, I'm talking like $3,000 a month in bookkeeping, and caused me the most headaches and took the most time, was our owner reporting. So getting those invoices and every payment booking reconciled out to each client. It was a nightmare. It took a long time for the bookkeeper to do. There was so much back and forth. What's this payment for? What's this booking for? What do you want to do with this? All back and forth. And it took until the 15th. So we would pay out for the previous month on the 15th of the next month. Like that's a 15-day delay. And like some clients weren't happy with that. We actually lost a client and he came back to me and said, I can't wait 15 days to get paid. Now, all automated. It's all done in Guesty. You set up all the rules. You can set up different commissions for each property. You can set up different costs for cleaning and all of the rules. It's unbelievable the stuff you can set up. It took a while for me to get my head around, but that is testament to the power of the functionality of what it offers. And it's honestly going to save us thousands every single month. So the discounts that Guesty have very kindly offered to you guys is if you've got 1 to 3 properties, you're going to use Guesty Lite and they can get a massive 50% discount off the first year when you use the code DAVE50 by clicking the link below. 50% off. It's basically free. And if you've got 4 or more properties, then you're a big pro and you're going to use Guesty Pro. For that, we can get 20% off first year and the onboarding, which is absolutely awesome, by the way. And again, you get that by clicking the link. It's the same link below. Just tell them Dave sent you. But honestly, this video is sponsored by Guesty, but everything I'm saying here is completely true. It's my real experience of how I felt before, why I switched, and how genuinely happy and how much I'm glad I made that decision to switch. And it was weird before because I have been recommending Guesty for since I started making these YouTube videos that I wasn't using them, and it wasn't ever any reason other than I was fucking terrified to do that switch. Literally I had PTSD from the last times it happened when we were much smaller in terms of portfolio size and bookings, but just so many of them got lost. And we had guests arriving and being like, I'm here to check in. And we're like, who are you? So I had the fear of switching. If you are in that camp where you click the poll of you're frustrated, but you haven't made the switch, if that is the reason why you haven't made the switch, trust me, it's going to be fine. Using Guesty is going to make your business more efficient, more streamlined, more profitable. And if you want to learn 12 ways to level up your business even more, then you need to watch this video next. Click that link, get Guesty, and watch that next. See you in the next one.